So because I'm a single mother, I don't deserve love? He raised his hands in defense. Don't get me wrong, you are amazing. But it's just my personal preference. You understand? Understand? Oh, I understood perfectly. This was rejection number 4 in 6 months. I never imagined that the very thing that gave me strength, my son, Damilare, would be the reason society saw me as less than a woman. It all started 3 years ago when my world came crashing down. Kunle, the man I once thought I would grow old with, the man I trusted my life with, abandoned me the moment I told him I was pregnant. I'm not ready for this, he had said, walking away like I was nothing more than a mistake. At first, I cried. I pleaded. I even begged him to reconsider, but he had made his decision. My parents were devastated. My friends whispered behind my back, and the neighbors gave me pitiful looks as if my life was already over. Yet in the midst of my pain, I made a decision. I will raise my son alone, with or without a man. The moment I stepped back into the dating society, I realized I was no longer just Remy, the beautiful, smart and hardworking woman. No, I was now Remy, the single mother. And to many Nigerian men, that label meant damaged goods. The first man, Shola, seemed perfect, handsome, kind and ambitious. We went on dates, laughed and shared dreams. I dared to hope. But the moment I told him about my son, his smile faltered. His voice became uncertain. I respect you, but I can't marry a woman with baggage. Baggage, that was what he called my child. The second man, Emeka, was more direct. I can't take care of another man's child, he had scoffed. You should find the boy's father and make things right. Every rejection cut deep. Each one was a reminder that I was no longer seen as desirable, that I was a burden rather than a blessing. I cried myself to sleep many nights, asking God why motherhood had come with so much pain. Was I cursed? Will I ever find someone who would love me and my son? I stood in front of my mirror, adjusting the neckline of my blouse, trying to convince myself that tonight would be different. Maybe, just maybe, this date wouldn't end in disappointment. Mommy, are you going out again? Damilare's small voice broke my thoughts. He was sitting on my bed, swinging his tiny legs as he watched me. I turned to face him with a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. Yes, sweetheart, just for a little while. He tilted his head. Is it to meet a new uncle? I swallowed. My 5-year-old was too observant for his age. Something like that, I murmured. He nodded, his expression unreadable, then returned his focus to the toy car in his hands. The guilt in my chest doubled. It wasn't fair to him. Watching his mother try so hard to be accepted by the world that didn't want her because of him. But didn't I deserve love too? By the time I arrived at the restaurant, my nerves were already shot. I spotted him immediately. Shola, my latest prospect. Tall, clean, well-shaven and confident smile. The kind of man every woman wanted. Remy, right? He said as he stood to pull out my chair. Yes, I answered, tucking a loose strand of my hair behind my ear. Dinner started well. He was funny, charming and well-spoken. He talked about his job at an oil firm, his gym routines, and his plans for the future. I listened intently, allowing myself to dream that maybe this was it. Then, just as I was beginning to relax, he asked the dreaded question. So tell me more about yourself. What do you do? I hesitated. Should I tell him now or wait until the second date? But what was the point of delaying the inevitable? I'm a fashion designer, I began, and I have a son. Silence. His spoon froze midway to his lips. He blinked as if he hadn't heard me correctly. You have what? A son, I repeated, my voice quieter now. Shola leaned back in his chair, his once pleasant expression shifting into something unreadable. I didn't know you had a son. You never asked, I said, forcing myself to stay calm. He let out a deep sigh and shook his head. Well, I mean, you're beautiful and all, but I just can't do that. I want a fresh start with my wife, not a woman who already had a family. A bitter laugh escaped my lips before I could stop it. So, because I'm a mother, I don't deserve love? He raised his hands in defense. Don't get me wrong. You are amazing, but it's just my personal preference. I hope you understand. Understand? Oh, I understood perfectly. This was rejection number 4 in 6 months. I didn't even wait for him to call the waiter. I stood, grabbed my purse, and walked out of the restaurant with my head held high, even though my heart was breaking inside. As I got into my car, the tears came, hot and unrelenting. Would I ever be enough for any man? The days that followed my disastrous date with Shola was quiet but heavy. I threw myself into my work, stitching fabrics and sketching designs late into the night, trying to drown out of the ache in my head. Maybe love wasn't meant for women like me. Maybe I should just focus on raising Damilare and forget about romance altogether. But fate had a funny way of working. It was on a rainy Tuesday afternoon when I met him. I was running late to deliver a dress to a client, struggling to balance my head back and the neatly wrapped package when I bumped into someone at the entrance of the building. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I started, but my words trailed off when I looked up. He was tall, with warm brown eyes and an easy smile that somehow made my racing heart slow down. It's okay, he said, his voice smooth and reassuring. He bent down, picked up my package, and handed it to me. Are you all right? Yes. I thank you, I stammered, still caught off guard. He chuckled. You seem in a hurry. Do you work here? I'm a designer, just making a delivery.